Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Journey to Greatness. Day 10 of 365 with David McDonald, the GOAT. All right. Let's get started. My bad. I didn't sign my phone charge my phone yesterday, so I need to sign into my Pandora. Oh my gosh, come on. Oh, that sucks. Oh. All right. Good morning, everybody. Al, good morning. Daouz, blessings, my brother. Steven, good morning, brother. AJ, everybody. Top of the morning. We're going to get in our meditation routine. We don't have any music today, but hey, why not change it up? So I'll see you guys on the other side. What was that? No, just joking. All right, everybody, welcome back. So we just finished our meditation routine, and now we're getting into our journaling routine. Yusuf, good morning, man. Haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? Fabrina, good morning. Good morning. Marcus, brother Marcus, top of the morning to you. All right. So I will see you all on the other side. All right, everybody, welcome back. Fatima, good morning. Happy Saturday. So we just finished our journaling routine, and now we're getting into our reading routine. I will see you all on the other side. All right, everybody, welcome back. So we just finished our reading routine, and really, it's just getting back to the simple principles of what it means to be a sales professional, creating flow, what it looks like to create flow, how often we should talk and touch our clients as sales professionals, and so. I have to leave that one up to you guys because it's just a lot of information about technical skills. So nothing really applicable. Pause. Everything applicable to the regular life or regular non-sales life, but I'll have to let you discover that for yourself. But I will say to end here, there is one thing that I've come to realize in in this first week, really, of the journey to greatness, or the journey of greatness. And that thing is when we tap into our spiritual selves, and our mental health through these activities, and then ultimately physical health, what we are doing is we are shaping ourselves to operate in a peak state. And what does it mean to operate in a peak state? That means that because of your tunnel vision, because of how focused you are able to execute at a very high level. You are able to push your boundaries further than you've ever pushed them before. And you're able to run your business and your life in a manner in which is very healthy, and surrounded by happiness. And how do you get into these peak states is what I've been trying to figure out, is how do we maximize our time and shorten our timeline to financial freedom and unlocking our truest potential. Between both of those, they are going to be life journeys, right? So the level of financial freedom is going to determine by time and patience and execution. And then self-awareness and higher levels of greatness will be attributed by time, patience, and awareness. As we continue living our lives, we will continue to grow these levels of success, right? But how do we taste it? How do we get to dabble in it? How do we get to change our reality dramatically? And so what I've come to is the journey to greatness is there's no secret as to whether or not it works. And the mental clarity behind the activity and the balance that it provides has been absolutely astronomical for me. On the finance side, I think the journey to greatness has also been astronomically different than what I was doing before, which was nothing, or a little less. And I think that on the financial side, the part that really, really stirs the pot, because the journey to greatness, like I said, it's all about levels. So you're going to tear up. The more aware that you are about your presence, about your business, about who you are as a person, how you move through this earth, the stronger you become as an individual. And so, like I said, the journey to greatness will help increase your financial aptitude, knowledge, confidence, etc. And what will happen is you will see your income exponentially grow, right? If you're doing the right things. So going back to the ideas, but I figured out the way to, I think, stir the pot where you're always operating in a high peak state, and pushing the bar, and that would be through physical fitness. And that's physical fitness, whether it's going having a spa date, 2 times a month, or ideally 1 time a week or 2 times a week. Getting manicures and pedicures, working out intensely, not just working out, but working out intensely. So working out, which is great, and then taking it to the next level, because we're talking about peak state, elite state, taking it to the next level and training your body in a way where your body's in a peak state. You can go run a marathon. You can You can walk a marathon. You can roll a marathon. Whatever it is, you're able to perform at the highest level you've ever been able to perform. I've found that element and your nutrition, obviously, your nutrition, the food that you're eating is so clean and is so healthy. The way in which that you're eating and you're putting these packages together, these food packages or these meals together is so healthy, where you're not losing your mental stability because you're not eating like what you want, or you're not eating enough. Like you're actually proactively taking care of yourself and having a good nutritional diet. And so you have this elite performance workout system that you've created, where your body is being pushed to limits that you've never experienced before. You have an elite nutrition plan. You have an elite spa, recovery, massage, self-care, physical self-care, haircut, everything. So you have this package of just things that you've never really done, and it's going to cost money. Yes, I understand that. It's going to cost money. But what I'm trying, like I said, what I'm dissecting here is how do we perform at a high level at all times, minimize the time that it takes to achieve or taste financial success to a high degree, and tapping into who we are in our highest and our most powerful being to a high degree, or taking a taste of that. How do you get that in a 2-year, 3-year sacrifice or sacrificial period? And that's what I've been able to mentally create. And so I am breaking down the biochemistry and the mindset behind what this looks like, and I'm going to be the social experiment. And so in a perfect world, what would that look like? So you go to the gym, you work out, you stay healthy. Go get a trainer. Get a trainer who's going to bust your butt 2 times a week. Push yourself and invest in yourself. Really is all you're doing. You're investing in your body. And in the end, it's like, oh, well, how much money are you spending on food and takeout, right? Instead of spending that money on food and takeout, spend $70 on a training session. Because now what you're doing is you're educating yourself on the newest and greatest workouts, because the trainer, more than likely, if he's a good one, or if she's a good one, they will have the newest and greatest workouts, and they will help keep you toned. Then you continue working out. You see, because as I'm putting these pieces together, what I'm realizing is there's 3 different parts. And the most important part is your mental stability. The more and more you open yourself up and you peel these layers back, the more and more other things, your past, negative energy, positive energy, comes within you and tries to talk to you or talk you out of the current reality you've possibly manifested for yourself. You don't really know where this energy is coming from, but it comes and it rises up in you. And the way that you defeat that energy, the way that you live with that energy is by being one with the energy. And I feel that a lot of that comes from your mental stability, because a lot of the time we experience these things and we don't know how to handle them. And the journey to greatness has inevitably has helped me get through these times when feelings of unknowingness or feelings of confusion or feelings of doubt or whatever it may be come up within me. So how do I get through it? The journey to greatness has allowed me to create a mental space in my brain to find peace with anything that comes within me, and allows me to then affirmatively choose exactly what my reality is going to be, which is what I am currently experiencing, and I love it. So the 3 parts of all this is your mental, your physical, and your spiritual. And when all of these are aligned, we are able to perform in a peak state, ultimately decreasing the timeline in which how long it takes for us to taste a large amount, abundant amount of financial success, and abundantly allowing us to shrink the time of how long it takes for us to realize how great we really are and the power that God and the universe has blessed us with, it allows us to shorten that. So we're not spending 10, 15, 20 years because we're like just hanging out and then, oh shoot, I met a really cool person and they dropped a dime on me. Boom, I woke up. It's like, no, we're working 365 days. So that timeline that would have taken us 10 years, again, we're jamming it down in a year potentially. And then we're opening ourselves up to other people to come because we're developing and we're working on self. So inevitably, because we're working on self, we're really preparing ourselves for that next opportunity, that bigger opportunity, or the next opportunity, right? And so, pretty much we're sharpening our sword. We're sharpening our sword, and because we're sharpening our sword, we're getting ready for a bigger journey. And so I'm free flowing my thoughts right now because I hope this is something that recently has come to me since we started week 1. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And I was inspired, like I said before, by LeBron James. And it's my last point. I'm out of here. LeBron James spends $1.2 million a year on health, fitness, recovery. And recovery, more than likely, I know includes massage, floating tanks, which we have them all over the city. If you're in Seattle, Renton, and I don't know if Bellevue has it, but I know for sure Seattle and Renton have it. Recovery, nutrition, $1.2 million. Now you might say that's $1.2 million, but don't throw the money out of the equation. But let me pull it back into the equation. He spends $1.2 million minimum on the best trainers, on the best nutritionists, on the best people to help keep his physical body in shape. He plays basketball. He runs up and down the court all day. I get it. Okay, I get it. But he just signed a $150 million contract, right? Okay. The ratio there, what we're looking at, okay? If we take 1.2 and we divide that into 100, that's 1% of his income, roughly, right? Let's say 1% or 1.5% of his income that he just signed on this contract. But the question I ask myself is, what am I doing with my income? So let's say I make $100,000 a year. Am I spending 1% of my income just on health every year? Right? Or 1.5% or 2%? And that ratio may fluctuate because 1.2 can get you a lot. $1,000 can't get you that much. Let's say, for example, right? For 1% of your income, $1,000 can get you a regular membership at LA Fitness, but it's not expert opinion on how you run, or how you're running, on how you're losing weight, on how you're eating. So it might be that we spend $10,000, so 10% of our income. Does that make sense? Because he makes $150 million in a contract, right? And then that's broken down over the series of 5 years, 10 years, whatever. And he spends 1.2. So actually his ratio would be a lot higher because I'm thinking about it in his entire contract. So it would be around 10%. See, that's what I'm saying. So it would be around 10%, maybe 20% of his income per year he spends. Yeah, it would be. It'd be almost 20%, almost 20% of his income he spends on health, nutrition, recovery, and workout, fitness. But what that allows him to do is to stay and remain number one at his craft. And that is the goal. So for me to spend $10,000 or $15,000 on my income, on my fitness and my health and my physical, which is the vehicle that's going to take us for the rest of our lives to the next level, why are we not spending more time getting massages? Because massages reduce stress. Massages allow for your body to be at peace, even if it's just for an hour, right? Instead of, doing this or doing that. So when we're able to be in one unison or in one energy among these 3 different platforms, we are able to perform at a very, very high peak state. And when we're performing at a high peak state, everything around us changes. Our relationships, our business, our financial, our bank account, and our who we are as people. And so that's what I've come into. And hopefully that was helpful because I totally freestyled that. But I like this session a lot. So I'm going to save this one. And then I invite everybody to do one thing. Because I was thinking about this 3 days ago when I was meditating, and it came up again for me today. if you want to, so, okay, this book, right? Like I said from the beginning, the cool thing about books is a lot of the time they give us free pages in the front where it's just blank. So what I do, or what I started doing in this book in particular, is the author will suggest books that he or she was inspired by, correct? Yes. So I'll go in here and then write the books down on this page, say books to read. And so now I have a list of books. So rather than trying to sift through the whole entire book, when I'm like, oh, what was that book? I can just refer to the first page, the first blank page, where I write in the books that the author actually suggested in the book that they're writing. But then on the next page, they usually give another space where it's just blank pages. And so what I thought to myself, I've always thought this to myself, but what I actually executed on in this book is, so what I'm doing is, if they're making suggestions, like in the book, like these are things you have to do to be successful. In my mind, it's like, okay, we can read about it, we can talk about it all day long, but we have to know and be able to refer to it and actually execute on it. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write my affirmations down. The book says that you should write daily affirmations 25 times. Okay, so hear me out. Check me out. This is what I'm going to challenge everybody to do. And I think this will be very, 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 very helpful in brainwashing yourself to know and be aligned with your highest goals and affirmation. So what you got to do here, or what I would suggest or invite everybody to do, is write your top 10 or 15 or 20 affirmations down of what you know the world has in store for you. So for example, I am a millionaire. I am a multi-billionaire. Affirmation 1 or 2, but affirmation 1, whichever one you decide. I am married. I enjoy having my husband or my wife to wake up to every morning. I am a good man. Pause. I am a most wonderful and handsome man. Same thing for the women. I am in peak state shape. You see what I'm saying? So you break these things down and write them all down. And then after you do that, grab your phone. Okay? Grab your phone and then record yourself reading all of those affirmations. And then listen to that dang tape every single day, 25 times a day. And you will memorize your affirmations and you will begin brainwashing yourself into understanding and taking those affirmations as truth. And when you do that, you'll see everything around you begin to change. And then if you want to add a little bit more sauce to it, go ahead and you start, because when you write it out, it's powerful. That's really the most important part, is you writing it out that first time. But to write it out 25 times and spend the time knowing that because you're doing that, you're just burning it even more deeply into your subconscious, or excuse me, your non-conscious. And really everything else about you in the universe is taking accord or taking account of your affirmations. Like I said, everything in your life will change. You got to believe it. You have to know it. And then you got to repeat it over and over and over to yourself. So with that being said, bam, happy Saturday. David McDonald, the GOAT. Thank you for joining me. Day 10 of 365. And I will see you all tomorrow at 5 a.m. Have the best day of your life today. Take this affirmation thing seriously. I highly suggest it. It's easy. It's an easy move. 25 or 10 top things that you know about yourself that your reality is telling you is not true, but you know inside this is really true. You are the best at what you do. Never, never, ever, ever underestimate yourself, and never, ever take that away from yourself. So with that, I love you all dearly. Good morning, Auntie Louisa, and good morning, Rochelle. I hope you all have a great day today. See you.